Madam President, I want to rise today with somewhat of a heavy heart to adjourn in the memory of my mother-in-law, MaryAnn Salgado Guillen, who passed away on March 19th at the age of 77. She's survived by her loving husband of 58 years, Cheo, and daughters Andrea, Anna, Annette, and Antoinette, and son John. They did have a sixth child, Patrick, but he unfortunately passed away a few years back, preceding his mother. MaryAnn was a third-generation Chino resident, and she was born on February 23rd, 1933, to Hilaria and Martin Salgado. She was the number 13 of 14 children. She met Cheo in 1949. I think it had something to do with she became the princess of some festival at Our Lady of Guadalupe, and I think Cheo at that time kind of was taken by her. Anyway, a couple of years later, they did marry. And in addition to the 6 children that I previously mentioned, she was also blessed with 12 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. She was not only a loving daughter to her parents, but also a sister, wife, mother, and grandmother and great-grandmother. Her devotion to her family and her faith was unquestioned. She was a member of the Our Lady of Guadalupe, there in the city of Chino. She was on the choir. She was also a Eucharist minister for the church. She was kind of a matriarch of the family. She was the kind of person that you could always count on, and she did take care of family. I'm being number 13. She had the responsibility to kind of take care of everybody else. So she provided. When I met MaryAnn, met Andrea, and that she was actually caring for her mother there at the house that they currently live in today. As a matter of fact, MaryAnn was born in the house they currently have today, or the property. But it wasn't just her parents. She also then, because she was one of the youngest of 14, she's taking care of a lot of her siblings. Her daughters, frankly, she is a grandmother. She basically was always caring for the kids. And I remember her putting, for my daughter Kara one time, she was running fevers or something, and she ended up putting some tomatoes on her feet. And it was some kind of an ancient cure or something from long ago. But I never questioned her because, like I said, she was kind of she was the grand lady of the house. I had a great relationship with MaryAnn. I used to always tell everybody in my events and stuff how fortunate I was to have such a beautiful and outstanding and supportive mother-in-law. I couldn't make jokes about her. She would probably beat me up if I had, but she was willing to accept the fact that I was a lifelong Republican and she was a lifelong Democrat, and I can remember, yeah, right, and I can remember getting into some discussions with her regarding the impeachment process of President Clinton, and we decided we just won't talk about that anymore. She defended Clinton, to the end there. She was like I said, a very strong-willed woman, and her 4 daughters, you can see a piece of her in each one of them, because she just basically had a wide variety of activities. My wife and I used to do annual trips down to Puerto Vallarta with my mother-in-law, and there was a special place down there, I don't remember the hotel now, but it's where they filmed The Night of the Iguana. And she used to love going down there just on a regular basis. I got a little concerned, though, because my wife and mother-in-law would sometimes go off on little ventures, and one time my wife and my daughter and MaryAnn, they decided to go do some bike riding up along the streets and so forth in Puerto Vallarta. The problem is their streets, everybody complains about ours, well, theirs are a little different. They're cobblestone, and the only thing I know is Andrea came back and she had the biggest bruise on her side of her leg. It was just all red and everything, but somehow her mother managed to survive, but Kara didn't. But she was also blessed with being able to travel all over the country. She enjoyed the trips to Europe, to Asia, to China with my wife, to Africa, and also Mexico. And she just had a love of life. She was one of those very festive type people. She just kind of, she was the kind that would just kind of make you feel everything was okay. And so she had a true love for music and dancing and so forth. Now, she did have a couple of vices, and she just loved to play bingo. And she also loved to go to San Manuel Bingo Hall. And then she also developed a real love for the slot machines. I don't know. She just, sometimes she'd take off and people kind of wonder where she was. She'd turn out she'd playing bingo or something. My wife started calling her Granny a while back, a long time ago, and she really didn't like that. You know, she didn't want to be called Granny. I think my wife had a thing about Beverly Hillbillies, and so for some reason she started going, but she finally accepted it about the time the first great-grandchild came about. She finally accepted the fact that she was going to be known as Granny from this point on. MaryAnn's going to be sorely missed by her family and friends. She was one of those people that, frankly, has done a lot to make California the great state it is. She came to California with her family back in the mid to late 1800s. Her family roots go all the way back to the families that occupied California back when it was going through its flight for statehood. She was very proud of her Mexican and Native American heritage too, and I learned a great deal from her regarding that and the history of California. It's for something that I personally will always be forever appreciative. She made me a better person, and we're going to sorely miss her, but her spirit and her kindness is going to live on through all of us who've known her. And so for that, I'd like to request that we adjourn this session in her memory, and just want to say thank you to all of you that have expressed your feelings towards the family. We appreciate it. We're going to have a celebration of life later on this week. The ceremonies will be this weekend. But anyway, I just want to thank you all for all your feelings of goodwill. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Dutton, for such a touching tribute to a truly remarkable grande dame of California. And our deepest condolences to you and the family.